Not? Okay. All right, we can go ahead and get started on the demo tonight. Do you want to go ahead and get set up? Oh, I'll plug it back in. My bad.
So, I don't know if any of you guys were here for the first non-perennial presentation. It was less informative, a little more passionate.
Do you want a mic stand?
No, I got it. So the first presentation I did, me and Logan built a backtesting framework, and we just made some charts. Well, we technically made algorithms that theoretically would have traded very profitably during those time periods, but obviously it was just overfitted to the data we were testing. And so my first presentation, we just put a really nice, pretty graph one, and I said data science a lot, and I didn't really cover like what we were doing or how we were gonna do it or really any of that. I was just really passionate because we put that backtesting thing together. It was like overnight, and it was a rough night. We were very proud of ourselves, and it was a really pretty graph we had made, so I liked it, but it was obviously not really a presentation. It was just me saying data science. So I put together a good presentation, hopefully, and I think this kind of embodies what we've been doing, how we met, and where we want to go with it. So we met during the Piscine. It was the October Piscine, and I came from an equities trading background, and I wanted to be trading algorithmically because my job was fun, but I knew that I was just looking at a bunch of numbers and formulas and making decisions based on those numbers and formulas, and that's not a job for a human. So I came here to learn how to code, and I met a couple buddies, and we all kind of got passionate about this idea of building an algorithmic trading firm. So we started doing it, and we realized that the biggest, by far, barrier that we were going to have was regulatory. And the easiest and most profitable way to circumvent that was cryptocurrencies. And we stepped in right when things started to get crazy, and a lot of people were losing a lot of money, and a lot of people were making a lot of money. And we wanted to be, at the moment, and currently, the only public algorithmic cryptocurrency trading fund that's not just going to take your money. And so we've been doing that for maybe 6 months now. So when we first started building it, we didn't want to use, so there's services like Quantopian and DarwinX, and they have backtesting frameworks, and you can do all your stuff in their nice, convenient framework. But these are trading algorithms. This is like it's not black projects, but like, fuck, this is InfoSec. Come on, like, you can't just code your trading algorithm in a fucking online service. So we built our own backtesting framework, and then I started applying what I knew about equities trading to cryptocurrencies. And it was useless. It was all completely useless, and I've talked to a lot of quantitative analysts from the regular securities markets recently, and they've found the same thing, that these markets are different because instead of being governed by large institutional players and very strict regulatory environments, like literally, like, they regulate it to be more profitable. If something goes down too far, they'll pull a breaker and stop trading so that nobody loses all their money. And that regulation makes algorithmic trading safer and more profitable, and is not there in cryptocurrencies. And so those same algorithms don't work at all. And so then we started to try applying machine learning to the problem. And we went with, first we figured that the best approach to a time series problem like this would be a RNN with LSTMs, of course. And that was pretty good. It was nothing spectacular, and it was nothing better than what I could just program myself based on a basic knowledge of how markets work. And so we didn't go with the RNN with LSTMs. Then we went to a convolutional network, It was a recurrent convolutional network, but it was on. It's basically, so we have a portfolio of cryptocurrencies, and you have to imagine that, every time interval they change in value, and we would take that change in value, it's kind of like a eigenvalue between the different intervals, and we would run convolution on that, and then LSTM RNN that data, and that worked better, but it didn't work any better than anything basic like linear, ridge, lasso, the tried and true regression methods. And none of them were anything spectacular. They were not what we were looking for. So we kind of got our saving grace in online portfolio selection. We came across an algorithm called passive-aggressive mean reversion, and its family, which includes robust mean reversion, best constantly rebalanced portfolio, anti-correlation. And these are the best online portfolio selection algorithms, and basically the most profitable algorithmic trading algorithms known to academia. And so we adopted those into what we wanted, which was an algorithm that was better at cryptocurrency trading than anything academia had produced and has produced to date. But before we wanted to start algorithmically trading these portfolios, we knew we needed to step back and kind of out of the whole algorithmic trading mindset of making as much money as possible regardless of anything else, and remember that we're trying to do this as legitimately as possible, and we need to build a reputation as a company that people in this industry can trust. And so we made sure to put a more heavy than our focus on the algorithms themselves is our focus on due diligence on the coins that make up our portfolios, because the way the algorithms work, they need to all be good coin. So we read the code of every project that we can read, and we meet with the teams of every project that we can meet with the teams with, and we use that as our real hardcore due diligence on these projects, and it's really necessary in this space because of all of the scamming and bullshit that's going on. And we feel that once we've read the code and met the team behind it, we can trust that that is definitely a coin that's being actively developed and developed by people who know what they're doing. So we started trading with my own money. I wanted to trade for a few months with my own money to make sure that the algorithm was everything that we were going to say it was, and that people were going to be happy with it, and that it worked at all in the real world. So we did that in March through May around, and it was averaging around 100% a month. And we weren't really ready to start taking investments. We didn't have a built-out front end, and we didn't have a built-out back end. We had a trading algorithm that could trade, yes, but there was a lot of things that still needed to be done before we could be a functioning company. But we were making too much money, and we were like, no. If people are willing to just fucking email us and trust that we're gonna make them a bunch of money, then we'll let them take that leap, and we'll let them reap the rewards of the extreme risk that they've taken on in that process. And so we did, and they did, and we have been doing pretty well since. Things got bad for a little while. There was 1 week when everything really got fucked. Everything was down 12 to 17%. And when you're managing a portfolio, you can't out-manage a portfolio out of a complete and total market crash. And so that ate through some of the profits that we had made on the way up, and a lot of people were not happy about that. But when I explained to them how the algorithm worked and how its main focus was on taking profits in times of excess and investing them into coins whose true value has not yet been realized by the market, they started seeing the light and the fact that maybe there's a little bit more to their portfolio than just its current value at the time, and that their assets overall had been increasing along with the value. So our algorithm was and is still a lot better than anything academia has come out with, but that isn't really saying the most, because if they had built something better, there's a high chance they would not have published it and then immediately dropped out of college and then started using that. And so it's nothing particularly special, and I'll get into the technical details a little bit, since you guys are probably semi-interested. The way it works is we have a portfolio of assets that we've verified with this due diligence to make sure that we trust all of them and we don't think anything is completely fucked going to zero. And then there's a high correlation in those assets, and everything is pretty highly correlated with the total market cap of cryptocurrencies. And so when there's volatility within that portfolio, you know, 2 coins go up 20% and 30% and the other 4 go down 10% each, the way our algorithm makes money is by selling the coins that are profitable and buying the coins that are not at the moment profitable. And it's a time-tested and well-known and statistically significant method, and it works well in the short term and the long term. The only real trouble and fine-tuning that has to be done is exactly when you want to take what from where and put it where. But the general idea is just exploiting volatility between a correlated set of assets. So we'd been doing that for a while, and we'd been semi-active within the San Francisco cryptocurrency community, and we ended up becoming friends with and eventually partnering with this company called Census, who are building a sentiment analysis engine for cryptocurrencies. And so it's a team of older guys who have decades of production level sentiment analysis experience, but they need funding to build the entirely new company that they want to build in this industry. And so they approached us to partner for an ICO of both of our technologies and companies together to fund the development of their sentiment analysis engine and the development of a new series of our algorithms to complement that sentiment analysis engine and trade algorithmically based on that data. So that's what we're going to be focusing on going forward. We're going to be maintaining and iterating on our current portfolio management algorithm, getting ready for the connection with Census, and getting ready for our pre-sale and ICO with their team, because they have a much larger business development type of team. So that's really all I have to say for this presentation. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah. So every day that your account is profitable, we take 5% of what you profited, and that's it.
So you mentioned that you met with the Census team.
Yeah.
How did you come in contact with them? Just going like the local meetups, or how were you able to network?
So we go to meetups, and that's really the best thing maybe ever. You go to San Francisco, they give you food, they give you beer, they tell you just talk to as many people as you want to talk to, and everybody there is like, holy shit, you're a kid and can code, like, be my friend. So everybody should be at those meetups, and that's how we met everybody. And we didn't meet them initially to partner with, we met them just as friends. We'd meet up every once in a while, talk about the state of affairs, we'd see each other at meetups, and over time they're like, we actually want to do this.
So before you have the sentiment analysis engine, how did you decide when a coin was actually undervalued and not something like Dogecoin, which is like a meme and not actually
So
have real value?
it's the due diligence, and so a good way I can break that down on a more technical level is we look for technology that the three main things we look for are technology that will have large market implications, technology that is on the frontier of its own industry, and market adoption / active development. You don't necessarily have to have market adoption if you have $100 million and don't need to be adopted, and you can just develop your technology away. But most of the time, active development comes with market adoption. And so technologies we mainly look for are things like really advanced cryptography, because we think a lot of the future of cryptocurrency is anonymity, and that was the original kind of purpose of cryptocurrency, and maybe not purpose, but that was the original use of cryptocurrency, and we think that has a long future. So Zcash and Monero are our main crypto technology investments. We also look for distributed computing stuff. So we like Golem a lot. We like MadeSafe a lot. We also have our distributed storage play is Storage. And plays like that. We also do stuff that's a little bit less revolutionary, like Litecoin, for example, where it's not world-changing technology because Bitcoin made that change, but it is on the frontier of its own technology in terms of its Lightning Network adoption, a year, 2 years ago, when we're just now starting to get it for Bitcoin. Yeah, so it's places like that. World-changing technology, active development, and actual frontier technology, not something bootstrapped and put together in hopes of raising money.
My question was, if you have 5 or 10 people as clients, are all of their monies, are all of the investments that they give you, are they going into the same cryptocurrencies? So like,
Yeah.
so if the market takes a turn, then if it affects the coins that you invest in, and all of your clients take a loss.
Yeah.
As well? Okay. Is there anything like a follow-up question? Is there anything like different tiers of investments? Because if you ever had an app like Square Cash, not Square Cash, but Stash, or you know the apps that like take a little bit of money out of your account like every day or something,
Mm-hmm.
and you choose your level of like risk. Thank you. The risk level. Like, is there any plans maybe to do like a moderate risk where it's just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then like big risk where it's altcoins that can fluctuate crazy?
Long term, yes, but for now and the foreseeable future, our goal clients are the people who realize that we're just going to do it better and they should just give us their money and forget about it. Tom?
So, what challenges do you have when trying to get into the crypto market? I know that there's not very many brokers who are willing to take USD and, let you go into Bitcoin and just like start diversifying.
Well, we don't play with any USD at all. And that is, that's the key to our complete regulatory avoidance, is that we don't take or give any US dollars. We take investments and remit them in Bitcoin and other currencies on client's preference, but normally it's Bitcoin. Zach?
So when you make profits for your clients, do you reinvest those profits via your same algorithm, or?
Yeah, so by default, they're reinvested until the client withdraws.
No, I mean like your profits. You said you take like 5% from.
Oh.
Are you guys then investing?
By default, it is reinvested. Occasionally, we'll take it out. I needed a new phone, so I took a little bit out. But yeah, I'm heavily invested in it. Some of my family is also, and all of the profits are automatically, I mean, everything's reinvested until someone explicitly says, no, I need this money right now, because that's just the best way to go. Well, that's kind of what we're doing. We will be ICOing, but our ICO, it's going to be the traditional bullshit where it's a token that's made to raise money and is only an abstraction and only makes the investment process worse, basically. The reason that I didn't make my own coin and why we didn't make our own coin is because we had nothing particularly special to offer the space. If we were going to work on something, we would have worked on one of the existing teams. Probably our favorite teams are like we really like the Monero team, also the Made Safe team, and the Zcash team. But there's a lot of people. All of the things that need to be done with blockchain technology are being done really well by 3 different teams and done really poorly by 7 different teams. Like there's not a lot of room for new real innovation. There's a lot of room for new innovation, but there's not a lot of room for new real innovation in that space. And the one place where I knew I could make real innovation was in the algorithmic trading industry, because for them it does not exist, and literally every single algorithmic cryptocurrency trading firm that's existed to date has been a multi-level marketing scam. So there was a place where I had first mover, and then there was a place where I didn't have first mover, and so I was like, I'll do this. It does. It is trustworthy, and we do not use it. All right, well, thank you guys for having me present. I hope this was a little bit better than the last one.
That's it. Thank you, everyone. Next week's demo is Ian.